Welcome to Inspired Leaders. Thank you guys all so much for being here today. We are so grateful for you. Watch out for David and Randy up here. They are trouble already today. But no, thank you guys so much for coming here. We are so grateful to spend this beautiful day with you. We started Inspired Leaders, 7.5 years ago, which is insane. Woo! It's amazing, really. And when it started, it all was kind of circled around us starting our business. So many of you know that I left my safe teaching job to start our company. Anybody else leave a teaching job or some safe kind of corporate job to do what they're doing? It is not an easy leap to make. It is a very liberating leap, but it's terrifying every day. And so one of the things that I was doing when I was kind of preparing to change careers was a lot of networking and going to different groups and meeting anybody that would sit down with me and talk to me and asking them questions. And they ended up sharing lots of stories with me. I learned that I am not alone. I'm not the only person that was trying to leave something safe to jump into something scary. And so I got a lot of inspiration from that. And so when we started Inspired Leaders, it was really kind of like a more tactical thing, like how in the world do you run a business? And what do you do? And what are all those elements? But then our speakers kind of started transforming and their stories started changing. And they started really telling us about their life and their journey and what got them there and what helped them with their success. And so I always say that Inspired Leaders has taken on a life of its own, and we're just doing everything that we can to support it. And it's really amazing. So we have these speakers month after month come up on stage and share their stories, but not just their raw success. Look at all these great things I've done, but they share their shit. They share those low moments. They share those hard things they've been through. We all go through them more than once in our lives. And it's really, really important to know that we are not alone in that and to know that we have the power and the ability to get through it. And so our hope here is at Inspired Leaders is that when you come and you hear these stories month after month, you feel that deep-seated inspiration. You feel like you can keep going. You feel like you can take that leap. Whatever it is for you that might be holding you back or making you scared, that you feel like when you're in this room with this group of people, you feel loved and supported and heard, and that you can really talk about what it is that's going on, what it is that's worrying you, and get some support along the way. So it is an honor to still be able to do this here every single month, and we're really, really grateful to have all of you here. So thank you for joining us. If you can, silence your phones while we're in here. If you need to take a call or anything, you are more than welcome to go out to the lobby. We do understand. But if you can take this next hour and just kind of hang for yourself and enjoy this and be here, that would be great. But if you could silence your phones, that would be awesome. So if you scan this QR code, you can find all things Inspired Leaders. That's everything from all the social media channels that we're on, so that includes YouTube. Know that Inspired Leaders is officially a 501c3 nonprofit, which is very exciting. And we're able to do this event every month and make it free for all of you because of the sponsors that support us every month. So as many of you know, we do drop and go commercials, but then our sponsors get to come up on stage and do 30-second commercials. So if you're interested in being a part of that and supporting this organization and getting an opportunity to do a longer commercial, more featured in front of the crowd, we'd love to talk to you about that. Or if you're just interested in making a donation to Inspired Leaders, you love coming and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to donate. There's an opportunity to do that as well. So you can also see all of our past photos. So we have our beautiful photographer and our videographer that does all that media for us every month. All of that stuff is online. So follow us on this QR code, share the event with people, follow us on social media. You know how important all that engagement and everything is, and invite your friends to come back and join us next month so that we can continue to grow and to support this community. So I would be remiss to be in a room filled with business owners and salespeople and entrepreneurs and not give you all an opportunity to do a quick drop and go commercial. So here at Inspired Leaders, the commercials are short, and we do a clap when you're done. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what that looks like so that you can start to think about what your quick drop and go commercial will be, and we will move through the room and do that, okay? My name is Elizabeth Griever. My company is Everson Cooper, and we are your as-is home buyer. All right, come on, we can do better than that. My name is Elizabeth Griever. My company is Everson Cooper, and we are your as-is home buyer. Booyah. All right, so let's clap like that for everybody. David and Lance are gonna help walk around with the microphone. If they do this, It's in all of the love for you. However, please wrap up because we do want to do drop and go commercials here so we can get through this room filled with people and then get on to our speaker. Cool.
You're the first contestant.
Okay. My name's Allegra, and my company is the Sourdough Bakehouse. I make sourdough bread, and yeah.
Adriana Wells with Amazing Giant Flowers, and we deliver beautiful flowers that never die.
Hi, I'm Ravi with a company called Crypto Gains. We are a blockchain-based company, and we teach people about cryptos and blockchain.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. My name is Andy Griever. Together with my beautiful wife, Elizabeth, we own Everson Cooper. Thank you all so much for being at Inspired Leaders.
Good morning, Jay Dickey with Dickey Law Group. We're your probate, estate planning, and business law firm.
My name is Smail Biri. I'm the owner of Gap Bookkeeping. We are a full bookkeeping solution. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Larry Nail. I'm a healthcare business guy, and I have a children's home in Northeast Uganda where we rescued 50 children. And if you have any interest in it, let me know. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. I'm Leslie Williams with Senior Care Scout. We help families find assisted living options for their loved one. Thank you.
Joseph James, recording artist. We are creating an event, Family Fun Days in the Woodlands next year. Promote your business.
Ryan Holland with Your Game Show Place. If you want to be part of a real game show style experience, come on down to Your Game Show Place in the Conroe Outlet Malls.
Karen Hoffman with First Priority Title. We can serve all your title needs.
Gracie Aguilar with Serenity Sips. We are a wellness cafe.
Hello, I'm Aaron Musser with Handyman Connection. We do residential and commercial repairs.
Hi, Lizzie Pritchett with Bellwether Concepts. I do your social media so you don't have to.
I'm Jelena. I own Motive Fitness here in the Woodlands, and we do low impact, high energy, fun fitness.
Hi, I'm Janine Jones, Director of Events and Catering for all the Black Walnut and the Kitchen locations.
Kathleen Ryan with Kathleen Ryan Fine Art Photography, a full-service photographer for 30 years in this area.
Hello there, I'm Cindy Higgins-Peretti. I'm a health and wellness coach. I do work at Methodist Hospital in our Heal department.
Good afternoon, Steve Scott, business coach, co-creating pathways to accelerate the process of your successful performance.
Al Massey with the Prison Entrepreneurship Program, where we change men's lives and help them become fathers, sons, and husbands again.
Stephen Maxwell, what he said.
I'm Maggie Coleman with Flow Water. Do you know what's in your water? Let me help you with getting some of the safest, cleanest drinking water that you can have in a commercial space.
Yulander Taylor, I am a naturopathic doctor that provides holistic consultations.
Monique Carlisle with Midas Web. We do business development focusing on AI adoption where business success got a whole lot easier.
Hi, I'm Mindy McLean. I worked at Acton Leadership Academy, and I'm a teen coach, life coach for teens, where we work to find the joy.
Hi, my name is Kayla McLean. I am a senior at Acton Leadership Academy, and I am an aspiring author.
My name is Michaela. I'm a junior at Acton Leadership Academy, and I'm an aspiring event planner and world traveler.
Hi, my name is Hannah Uren. I also go to Acton Leadership Academy as a senior, and I am aspiring to be a young missionary.
Hi, my name is Liz. I am mother to this young lady, and I own my own business in wellness and health.
Caden with Mitchell Roofing and Exteriors, your roofing and exterior specialist. Call me for a free estimate, inspection, no obligation.
I'm Violet with
with Inspire Salon and Spa, and I am a haircut specialist specializing in men's and children's haircut.
I'm Maya with Inspire Spa and Salon, and I'm specializing in curly cuts and fashion colors.
I'm Olivia with Inspire Spa and Salon, and I'm their videographer.
Hi, I'm Lauren Harper, and I just moved from San Antonio to Houston, and I am a team lead for Exquisite Properties. We help our clients buy and sell homes, by the way.
William Giffen with Centric Wealth, we're a fiduciary holistic wealth management firm. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Justine Stone with LifeWave. It's the stem cells, y'all.
Howdy, Nikki Hankins, No Dumb Blonde Accounting.
I'm Ruth Bomar, ADHD coach. I help adults with ADHD get it going.
Don't gain a pumpkin around your waist. Call Monica Fuss, wellness coach.
Frank Fuss. She works with your body, I work with your mind. I take my clients from Eeyore to Thor, from good to great, and from frustration to celebration.
Hi, I am Alex. I'm a technical and marketing person, and I'm seeking a partner for my new business.
Hi, I'm Melanie Beecham with Starfish Payment Platform, and we help you stay ahead of inflation and also get paid back on every gift you give this Christmas.
Hi, I'm C.D. Womack with Team Womack Realty. Margaret and I are a real estate team, and we specialize in helping homeowners and potential homeowners buy and sell.
Zeke. Good afternoon. My name is Zeke, the Mortgage Geek. I am owner-operator of My Lending Network. If you have a great mortgage experience, what you seek, call your mortgage guy, Zeke.
I'm Joel Surmeyer, also with My Lending Network, a local mortgage broker here in the Woodlands.
Hi, my name is Rachel with First Priority Title of Texas, and we do residential as well as commercial title insurance. We make you our first priority.
Hi, I'm Jessica Lovell, a founder of Revolution Speaking, and I help leaders find their voice and improve their confidence.
Hi, I'm Tara Brown. I'm your one-stop shop realtor with Realty Texas.
Hello, I'm Caleb. I work for Redemption Roofing. If any of y'all ever need any roofing needs, let us know.
I'm Bryce. I'm an account executive at Azurus IT Consulting here in the Woodlands. It's a small veteran-owned business. We do anything from grant writing for nonprofits, physical and cybersecurity.
I'm Jamar Davis with Goosehead Insurance. I'm your Texas licensed insurance broker.
I'm Alexander Lukyanka from M&M Machine. We make parts for oil industry. If you need accurate machining, come on.
Hi, I'm Crystal Tossing, owner of Sugared Micro Bakery out of my house. I can do custom cakes, but I do specialize because of my own diagnosis, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, whatever you need.
Hi, Deidre Kiesling, founder of thedreamacademy.com, and I help leaders achieve their personal and professional goals 90 days at a time.
Hi, I'm Gene. Last time I told you I was in the human trafficking business. We're with Harbor Home Care. We provide caregivers for seniors and people in need.
Good morning, I'm Dominique Benson, the owner of Engage Minds Academy, your virtual tutors, and we help students with everything from homework to test prep to essay writing.
I'm Diane Eaton, owner of Heavenly Touch Massage Services at your door. I help to relax those tight muscles.
I'm Francine White, your friendly health insurance agent, so I take care of you, your family, and your business with care.
Hi, my name is Clayton Carmack. I'm with Reef Health Benefits, and I help cater towards small business health insurance.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm founder of Triumphant Reentry Resources, where we carry the torch of second chances for those who are justice impacted and formerly incarcerated, and I'm a former resident for 25 years.
Hi, I'm Paul Jackson with Cybervision Information Systems. We are your IT strategic partner. We offer free advice and free consultation.
Howdy, I'm Jesse Rivera with Harmony Marketing, and we help health and wellness companies get more sales through social media.
Brandon Clay, I'm the founder of Harmony Marketing, and I'll say it again, we help health and wellness professionals make more sales from social media.
Hi, my name is Sonu Dulo. I'm a published author and a real estate consultant. I help teenagers and beginners buy their first investment property and help them with that. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Catherine Land, your local real estate broker, and I'd love to help you with your real estate needs.
I'm Jaron Connell with Curb Appeal Pros. I do landscaping.
All right, have we missed anybody? We've got everybody? All right, I'm David McGuffin. I own Space City Payments, your local merchant services broker. For me, tapped, dipped, or swiped, I got a solution for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you are a sponsor for Inspired Leaders, if you could please come and join me up on this stage. As I mentioned earlier, we are able to do this event month after month for free, including food, the photography, the videography, this beautiful location, all because of these wonderful people that help financially support Inspired Leaders, and I'm so grateful for them. So they're all going to get an opportunity to do their commercial. They get 30 seconds. Sponsor is a loving reminder. There's a timer on the screen up there. Please mind the clock, but you'll get and also come into the light when you do your commercial so we can see your beautiful faces. But these are our sponsors, and they are why we are able to do this every month. So we're very grateful for them.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Hey guys, my name is Julie Peters, and I have been with Arbonne for 20 years. Backed by popular demand, I regret nothing hangover kits. So these are really popular at this time of year. They're not just for New Year's Eve if you've had one too many beverages. They're for Thanksgiving if you've had too much food, things like that. They're great for girls' trips, stocking stuffers. But what they have in them is our Biotic Stick, which is a probiotic, one of our Energy Fizz Sticks, a hydration, and a detox tea, which helps to cleanse the liver and the kidney. Julie Peters with Arbonne, keeping you healthy from the inside out.
Hey guys, Rankin with Rankin Peters Music. I want to thank you guys. Some of you have reached out to me about Christmas parties, holiday parties. Live music makes the event, so I can put together any kind of size group that you might need. Give me a shout and we'll work together. Feliz Navidad. Rankin with Rankin Peters Music.
Hi, everyone. Dawn Candy. My company is I Promote You. I'm your strategic marketing consultant. I put your logo on fun things like pens, cups, koozies, and all different types of products. But I'm also the executive director for Hands of Justice. So I'm going to encourage you to please go to our website, handsofjustice.org. We have so many events going on. Starting in January, National Human Trafficking Awareness Month. A lot that can be done. But Giving Tuesday, please remember us. We are walking along with survivors, helping them gain the life that they deserve. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Randy Lovelace, Paragon Independent Insurance Agencies. We offer the personal lines, home, and the auto insurance, umbrellas, boats, motorcycles, things of that nature. If you have any questions on that, please give me a call. I'd love to discuss things with you and help explain the current industry and what's going on with it. My name's Randy Lovelace, Paragon Independent Insurance, giving you peace of mind. 4, 3, 2, because we are covering your asset.
It's killing me. Good morning, folks. Kevin Williams. I am the realtor in the fedora. I'm already in your phone. Just ask the Goog. Say, hey, Goog, who's the realtor in the fedora? And I'll pop up. I specialize in helping folks that are in this area find their next house and sell their existing house. We do a fair bit of that, but also people moving to the area. You know, I'm not from around here, got here as quick as I could, and I've been so blessed to live in the Woodlands for a long time. So wherever you are in Montgomery County, I've got a new listing coming up today, 7.5 acres out near Willis. Just look for me, Kevin Williams, the realtor in the fedora.
I am Mike Navolio, founder and president of the Clean Water Climb. Allow me to take you to East Africa to see God's amazing animals, to climb and trek the highest mountain in Africa, Kilimanjaro, and then go to Malawi and fix water wells to bring clean water and living water to the people of rural Malawi. You'll never know your true potential unless you leave your comfort zone. Thank you very much.
What time is it, Inspired Leaders? Shine time, that's right. Mike Mogel. Hey, do y'all have pets? Do you have kids? Do you have company or family come over? Yeah, you got dirty carpets, dirty air, dirty tile and grout. We do that. Steam cleaning, Trinity Steam Cleaning. We clean your tile and grout. We clean your carpets, get rid of the bacteria, mildew, mold, and we clean your air conditioning vents so you breathe better in your own home. Invite your family over and have them have a good time. Now that's a steam clean suite.
Hey, Inspired Leaders, great to see everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Lance Kelly. I am your life and health broker. I'm here with the Business Solutions Group. We're your one-stop for all of your individual and group healthcare insurance needs, medical, dental, accident, just whatever the business needs to protect its greatest asset, its people. We're going to have a solution for you, right? It's open enrollment. I'm sure everybody's gotten that sticker shock, right? If your benefits are not pulling their weight, not helping the business, we'd love to have that conversation. Lance with the Business Solutions Group. If you don't make time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make time for your sickness. Plan accordingly.
Hey everyone, my name is Nick Plunk with Plunk Productions. I'm a videographer, producer, and editor. I get to work with business owners and marketing teams to create content that makes everybody want what they sell or provide or do, and it's pretty stinking fun to do that. I also worked with people that have content that need it professionally edited or vice versa. They know how to edit, they just don't know how to film. I can do both, I can do either or. Nick Plunk, Plunk Productions.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, it's Darnold Jr. with Darnold Jr. Productions. I do photography, so if you know it's Christmas time, trying to get those Christmas family shoots, so hit me up. I also want to talk about something on the side. There's a project called Operations Turkey, and we're looking for volunteers. We're going to feed over 1,000 families for Thanksgiving Day, so if you're available Thanksgiving morning, hit me up, operationturkey.com. You could go on, register, click on Southwest. Darnold Kimball with Darnold Jr. Productions.
Thank you, sponsors. Please give our sponsors a huge round of applause. These are some of the most amazing people I know. They would help you in your business any way they can. So please give them a hug, tell them thank you, and get to know them and let them support you however they can. So thank you guys so much for supporting Inspired Leaders. We're so grateful. So I'm really excited for our speaker today, Debra Myers. She actually spoke at Inspired Leaders years ago when we were in a much different, smaller location, and we are thrilled to have her back. This incredible woman has this most beautiful mind. She's the creator of 3 national brands, but she is a leader and a lover and an incredible entrepreneur right here in this community. So please help me welcome Debra Myers.
Doesn't everyone want that walk-up music? Right? Woohoo! Let's do it. Thank you so much for coming out, and thanks again for having me second go around. Thank you to my fan club in the back. Love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Today we're going to talk a little bit about legacy. A lot of you don't realize it, but you're making your legacy right now, 1 minute at a time. So how does that going to look at the end? We're going to talk a little bit about the dates that have shaped my story. The early years were fun. I'm a very creative person. There's nothing I can't make out of 3 paper clips and a stick of gum. And my sister and I, when we were younger, had all kind of crazy little businesses. We had an ironing business. We raked leaves. And really, people would ask, how are you so good at sales? And I said, well, my mom's favorite word is no. And when you are born and bred into a world of no, you learn how to overcome objection and rejection. So I was director of sales for lots of little companies, and my sister was director of operations. And little did we know later on in life that would come to serve us really well, because nothing happens in the world until something is sold, right? So I'm a very proud salesperson, but really we wanted to make extra money. And I thought I would save my mom some money by giving my sister a haircut. You know, I was about 10 and she was about 8, and you know what? It didn't turn out that bad. And I had an idea, because Debra has ideas. I needed to learn how to make money to put myself through college. My parents were in no position to put me through college, and they didn't even have the wherewithal to know how to get a student loan or anything like that. So I was going to start saving money and working so that I could put myself through college, because my dad did not finish high school and my mom graduated when she was 17 and then got married on her 17th birthday. So not a lot of college going on. So I had an idea. I was going to go to cosmetology school, and you have to be 15 to do that. And on my 15th birthday, I signed up for cosmetology school. And I went to cosmetology school basically I would go to high school from 6:30 in the morning till 11:30, and then I would go to cosmetology school from 12:30 to 6:30. At that point of my life, I learned how to work 12 to 14-hour days. And you know what? I made it happen, because I only had one goal in life. I had to make some money. And in 1986, on my 18th birthday, I was still a senior in high school, I graduated with my cosmetology degree. And that day, I had a job. And it was pretty darn cool. I had a friend who owned a nail salon, and we were doing nails, and I would do hair. I would do makeup. I specialized in brides for a time. It was a very short time, I want to add. But you know, it was good, and life was rolling. I was making money and saving it. I was a good saver, and because I just had to get to college, that was it. But then this thing happened. In 1988, I was driving home from college, and I was hit by a woman who dropped her cigarette, and she decided to lean over and pick that thing up going 70 miles an hour and killed me. The interesting thing about that moment of my life, not that it ended, but it's what came next. At that moment in time, when I died, I saw black. A black so stifling and so suffocating that you had no earthly idea what it was or where you were. It wasn't and it wasn't fire. It was someplace in between. And at that time, I didn't know what that was all about. But we'll talk about that later. The interesting thing about dying was when I woke up, I was in my car, and my lower body was trapped in the driver's side, and my upper body was twisted and in the passenger side. And I still had my seatbelt on. So if you can imagine what that is, it's a broken back. But not only is it a broken back, it's a broken pelvis, it's broken legs, it's broken ankles, it's broken feet. My teeth were knocked out, but aren't they pretty now? God, love modern dentistry. But in all seriousness, it left me with 28 broken bones. It left me in a situation where I would have to be put together again. And that in itself was scary. When I was in the emergency room, I remember the doctor looking at me, and he looked over, and he had little readers, which we all have now. Had his little readers, and he looked over and he said, "We have a mess here, don't we, little girl?" And I had no earthly idea that we had a mess. But he said, "You know what? I'm going to fix it." And I later discovered that he was a former Vietnam field surgeon. So he knew a thing or two about messes, which was a good thing because I was a mess. They immediately put me into traction. My whole body was basically a cast, and I was in traction until he could figure out what he was going to do. Because when you have that many broken bones on a then 20-year-old, your sole goal at that point is, how do we get this person to have somewhat of a regular life after this? So he told me that he was going to take my case to his conference, which I was like, dude, you're going to a conference right now? Hello. But he took my case to a conference, and this conference was orthopedists and surgeons. And he put my case up on the big screen like this. And he said, ladies and gentlemen, I need your help. And they all came together. 100 of the nation's top surgeons came up with a plan to get me fixed. He came back and I've had 35 surgeries under general anesthesia and another 20 with what I call shots, because I have an insanely high pain tolerance, so I can endure a lot of things. But he told me, he said, Debra, we have some bad news. Number one, I'm going to tell you that you may not be able to walk again. So imagine that as a 20-year-old. Number two is, you're definitely not going to be able to have children. Your pelvis is not going to be able to hold a child. And your back is not going to be able to do that. I was like, well, I already raised my sister, so I got the kid thing, that's fine. But not being able to walk again was something incredible. And I just decided that I was going to at least be able to get out of the wheelchair. And through a lot of pain and suffering and true grit, I was able to stand up again. And then I was able to walk on crutches, and then a cane, and then with a limp. And here we are, many, many years later, I'm walking fine. Woo! And it's not without pain, and it's not without a lot of really just tremendous things that happen in my body on a daily basis. But no pain medication. I decided after a very bad opioid addiction that I would start just being cold turkey clean. And anyone in here who's ever been cold turkey clean, you know how hard that is. There's probably nothing harder than going cold turkey clean. Yes. So your muscles and your bones have memory, and they like to talk to you when you don't want them to talk to you. At night when you're trying to go to sleep, in the morning when you try to get out of bed, all of those types of things. But I got through it, which was cool because somehow this happened. I think my instructors who, they would sit with me, they would mentor me, and I'm pretty sure I got some mercy grades because I have a double major of marketing and communication, and I don't know how that happened. I'm a fast talker. You know, maybe the tears, maybe they just saw hey, this girl is making it happen. And I walked across the stage ever so slowly in 1991. And I was insanely excited about that because all I ever wanted to do was work for a cosmetic company. And several of you in this room have loved my coat. And I will say that the jewelry is Chanel, but the coat is black white. I only wanted to work for a cosmetic company. And the first job I got out of college was with Elizabeth Arden. And a lot of people don't know that a lot of cosmetic companies are either owned by huge conglomerates or big pharma. And there is nothing pretty about cosmetics. There is nothing pretty about the beauty business. In fact, it is probably one of the ugliest businesses on earth. Let me just tell you this. There is nothing they're selling that you need. I sold more Chanel lipsticks to people that it looked absolutely hideous on because they believed me because I was good in sales. So just know that whoever's behind the counter needs to make a sales quota, and it doesn't matter what it is they're selling, you're gonna be buying that. So just be consistent with your skincare. That's all I'll say. And you can meet me out back if you want. Oh, man. I had an incredible corporate life. I was paid an insane amount of money to travel 100,000 miles a year all over the globe selling things that people didn't need. I had fun. But I lost my soul along the way. And it wasn't because I was driven by money, because I'm not, and people who know me know that I'm not. But I'm driven by the disease to please, which thankfully I've recovered from for the most part. But in 2000, the company I worked for was a major sponsor of the NCAA. And we had tickets to everything. And I spent more time and more of my company's money entertaining people than really should be even legal. But in 2000, the regional finals in Austin, Texas were happening. And I was taking a customer. I lived in Dallas at the time. I was taking a customer, and we were taking the customer's customer. This was on a Saturday, Sunday. Anyone who knows about basketball knows how this works. Friday night, I get a call. Hey, Deb, my son has appendicitis, and I'm not going to be able to make the game. I'm like, what? Okay. Anyone who knows anything about anything knows I can't call somebody Friday night for a Saturday game. So, hang up with the customer. I called then the other guy who's going with us. I said, you know what? I can't invite anybody, but you invite somebody. I only have one request, which is really kind of two. Make whoever you invite fun and interesting, please. So, we're going to meet in Austin, Texas. We're at the Irwin Center, which is now the Moody Center. And I walk into a bar. And I look to my left, and oh my God, there's a fine-looking man. Okay, Debra, the not fine-looking men are over here, my customers. Okay, so I gotta, get my shit together. I'm like so flustered looking at that guy. And I was just wanted to go to that guy, but I had to go to these guys. And I was so pissed. Because I'm like, can I give these assholes the tickets and my American Express card? And I go over this fine dude? Nope, can't do that. So I walk over, we're having our drinks. Well, what do you know? Fine, sexy man walks up. He's the fun and interesting one. So I was excited to meet him, of course, but really just so that I wouldn't have to be with these other guys. So we talked and we had a great time. And he was telling me about his divorce and how he's a single dad and about his son and about corporate life. And corporate life is horrible and all the things. And he was just sharing his heart with me. And the most interesting thing was I would always wear a ring. I called it my nitwit deflector. Because everybody knows, and I don't know if you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. The ring means something. And I would just not be interested in people, period. So I knew he was in finance, and I said, hey, good to meet you. I'll talk to you later, blah, blah, and off I went. 2 weeks later, I was going to be in Austin, and I called him. And I said, hey, can you help me with my 401k? Like, first of all, Debra don't need no help with money. But he said yes, and so we met at the Starbucks on 15th, which is still there, by the way. And we were talking, and the first thing he noticed was I didn't have my ring on. He said, oh my gosh, he said, you're not wearing a wedding ring. I said, yeah, I'm not married. He said, oh shit. I told you everything. I said, I know. And I said, I still called because I didn't want the man who you thought you were. I want the man you are. And 2 years later, hey, how'd I go backwards? Because it's Debra with this damn thing. 2 years later, we got married, and I became a mom to the most amazing little guy, Nicholas Myers. He was 4, and he thought I looked like Ariel from The Little Mermaid, which I thought was fantastic because inside I felt like Cruella de Vil. So we had a beautiful little life, and it was fantastic because I couldn't have kids, so therefore I didn't want kids. And it never occurred to me that I would meet someone who had a kid. So that was a pretty cool thing, and we had a really good time. But then my corporate life came to an end. I had always been kind of making things and giving it away, and in 2008, my corporate contract was no longer needed, and we've all been there. We love you, but you gotta go. So I said, okay, well, it was all right. And I told my husband, I said, I really kind of want to give the Enfusia thing a go. I said, but I really don't have much money. You know, I have shoes and handbags, but that's really not going to do much. And he said, you know what, I'll give you the money. And I think he never understood the power of being able to work a 14-hour day and still be able to come home and cook and do all the things, because I already learned how to do that. So being an entrepreneur actually became pretty easy for me in terms of the time it takes. Because while I was working full-time, traveling 100,000 miles a year, I also was doing Enfusia, trying to make things go. I would do craft shows on the weekends and all of these crazy things. And that was just the way it was. But then this grocery store saw me. And you may know who they are. Their nickname is Whole Paycheck, but they're really called Whole Foods. And we had a love affair, and it was beautiful because it was something that I think told my husband that this girl's got something. Whole Foods wants it? What? Okay, what? So then another grocery store called. You may know them, H-E-B. Oh gosh, and then Kroger. And then all these things started happening, and we needed a place to manufacture, and we needed people, and we needed all the things. So it was happening. And I would tell my son, I'm like, he would, come in and work and, put stuff away. He was so cute, and he was growing into a young man. And I said, one day your wife is going to run this place. And he would smile. And, one of the things is early on, he knew I couldn't have kids. And he asked me, he said, are you and Daddy going to have kids? I know you said you can't have kids, but is that a real thing? Yeah, it's a real thing. So you're the only one. Is that okay? And he smiled. He said, it works for me. And he was about 7 at that time. And I said, you're just going to be the only son I ever have, if that's all right. He said, it's okay with me. So I was his bonus mom, and he was my guy. And we had a very beautiful relationship. And he went to a Christian camp. And he came back. And he wanted to go to church, which I thought was the craziest thing I've ever heard. Because I already died once, people. So why the heck do I want to go to church? I don't want to go to church. And I am not interested in anything about the church. But my husband, God love him, he said, you know what, let's just try one time for Nick. Because he knew I would do anything for that guy. I said, okay, let's do it. We'll do one time for Nick. Well, okay. Anyone who knows Debra Myers knows that when she likes something, she does it. So I went to Woodlands Church, and we had a great time. It was a motivational talk, good music. Everybody was nice. Sometimes they would have donuts, and it was super cool. But our son really liked it. I volunteered there, but I did not believe in Jesus. Don't you get me all on your Jesus stuff. I'm going to volunteer here, and I'm going to show up, and I'll be in charge of the volunteers. I will be in charge of the volunteers. But I am not down for the Jesus thing, just so we're all crystal clear. And one day, a man by the name of Jim Caviezel came to the church. And I don't know if you know who he is. Okay, so he came to the church, and he was promoting a new project called New Testament on CD or something. And he, from the stage, looked out, and he said, somebody here needs this. So he reaches into his bag of raffle tickets. Debra Myers, come to the stage. Shit. Jesus is calling me. Oh my God. Okay, so you can't say no to that. I mean, I didn't think I could, or I should. So Jesus called, and I said, okay, yeah, okay. So I actually listened to the New Testament on CD. Remember when CD was a thing? And it was really interesting because it talked about the love and the glory of God. And I embraced it, and our family got baptized as a family, which was fantastic. And I didn't realize at that time how much I would need Jesus, Because as our son kind of grew into a young man, he had anxiety and depression, and he withdrew, and he self-medicated. And I never spent more time praying to a man I just met, a person who could give me peace and also who could prepare me for what was ahead. You know, my husband and I didn't know how to deal with a lot of the things that come with depression. I mean, I'm not a depressed person. I'm naturally hyper. Everyone knows that, obviously. So I had a hard time with it, and my husband had a hard time with it. So we wanted to make sure our marriage would stay intact, because anyone who's had a child that's off the rails in any way knows the first thing that goes is your marriage. So we really wanted to protect that. And so we prayed all the time, Lord God, please heal our son. Give him strength. Let him be around people who are going to lift him up and not tear him down. And you know what? We did feel a peace, which ultimately we would need. Because in 2015, we got a knock on the door. And it was the Shenandoah Police Department. It was 2 detectives. And they said, Mr. and Mrs. Myers. And my husband, who at that time now was working with us, said, yes, it's us. He says, I have really, really bad news. We have found your son dead. And you don't know what to do at that moment? The first thing I asked was how, and why, where, how do you know? Well, we found his body, and he was just sleeping beautifully like an angel. Well, how do you? We think it's suicide. I'm sorry, what? You think it's suicide? How do you know? He left a note, and the note said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And there was a teardrop. You could see a little wet the ring. He said, I just couldn't hang on anymore. I just couldn't hang on. And how does a 19-year-old beautiful child decide he doesn't want to hang on anymore? At that moment, I remember my head spun. It was like a slow motion kind of vacuum. But I just remember saying, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And I got on my knees and I said, God, please do not do this to me. We have prayed. We have begged. We have done everything we can. But don't take my son. I'm begging you. This can't be real. And I looked at my husband, and he was just destroyed. And I remember looking at my husband, who was just a shell of himself, on the ground, rocking. My Marine was rocking. And at that moment, I said, I got to get up. I have got to be strong. I don't know if anyone in here has ever had to make the phone calls when someone dies. My God, there's so many phone calls. And you don't realize how painful every freaking phone call is, because everyone asks the same question. How, what, where, what? So I got up and I said, you know what? I have Jesus in my life. Thank God, because he will strengthen me through this. I have got to be strong for my husband. And oh, by the way, as Elizabeth so beautifully said, we're running, 3 brands with lots of people that work for us who need to get paid. And oh, by the way, corporate customers, they're sorry for your loss, but when's that shipment going to be here? So you have to decide right then what's going to define you. And my husband and I looked at each other and we said, you know what? This is not going to define us. We're not going to be that couple that, oh, you know, their son committed suicide. We just don't say anything. No, our son committed suicide. If he died from cancer, you wouldn't whisper it. It's just one of life's crappy things. But I remember I spoke at his funeral, but I didn't speak to the people who were there. I spoke to the devil himself. And I said, Satan, you do not have a victory here today. You do not have a victory here today. You think that by crushing our hearts, you will crush our spirit, but you won't. You are not going to destroy my family. You're not going to destroy my marriage, and you're not going to destroy me, because I have the full armor of God on me. That's it. You're looking at it. And you know what? I also have the hope and the faith that I will see my son again. Because as Al Mazzi and I talked about earlier, 2 weeks before his death, my son was volunteering with PEP at the Cleveland unit. And one of the pastors said, who here in the room is saved? And my husband was there, and he said, Nick Rose's hand. So I know I will see my son again. And as it says in 2 Samuel, when King David lost his son, he said, you know, my son will not come to me, but one day I will go to him. And that is the hope and the faith that I have. I will see my son again, and all my cats. And then this shit happened. You know, we've walked alongside a lot of grieving parents who have, their children have really been lost to suicide. And it's been a sad thing. A lot of our children withdrew and became isolated. But when COVID happened, it was one of those kind of weird things, because we have a bath products company, but we make soap, and we're FDA certified and regulated and all of that thing. And as everyone in the room was home, you know, relaxing, cleaning out your storage units and everything else, we were working our asses off, because God gave me the brain power to figure out how to make hand sanitizer and liquid soaps, and I was able to keep 40 of my people basically food on the table for all of them, for their families. And I showed them what the power of God is. When you say, God, I can't figure this thing out. What the hell are you doing here? He wasn't taking my calls. He provided a way, because what he would say to me is, Debra, you have this. Girl, come on. You have survived so many things, and just trust that I will make a way for you. And he did. So we got through that. But then this happened. Jesus. We were pretty tight with one of our biggest customers, like that kind of tight. And we got a phone call that said, you know, we got to break up. I'm sorry, what? We've been together for so long. I've done literally everything you've asked for. I have jumped through every frickin' hoop of fire. And oh, by the way, just 2 years before, I put you in front of everybody else to get all your stupid hand sanitizer made for all of your stores. And you're breaking up with me? How many people have lost $1 million in business overnight? How about 2? Okay? Something interesting happens. Number 1, you cry. That's not the interesting thing. Then you're like, okay, girl, get it together. Because I got people who are relying on me. And once a way, God made a way. And a good friend of mine is here right now. Her name's Emmy. And she helped me get on Amazon. And we are going to be a 7-figure seller on Amazon. Thank you very much. So we learned how to do that, and that's been a thing. The reason why it's been so hard is just because you don't know what step is next, right? But the adversity has prepared me for what's next. I feel like I've already survived the hardest thing on earth, and that is burying a child. And I think that no matter what comes my way, I can handle it. I mean, God's with me. Sometimes the armor of God is quite heavy. right? Sometimes it's light as a feather. But life is an unknown journey, and I want you guys to embrace it all, because nothing makes God giggle more than to tell him your plans. So what I want you guys to think about is write the story that only you can tell, because you're all writing your legacy right now. But also, live your life for the people who are going to be at your funeral. Be there for people who not just need you, but aren't expecting you. When your dad's in the hospital and behind a door that says authorized personnel only, and somehow Debra Myers gets in, show up. Make appointments with people that are in pen, not pencil. Put your phone down. We can have a coffee and you be away from your phone for 15 minutes. And if you can't, you're missing it. You're missing it. And I don't want you to miss it. I want you to be remembered as something beautiful, someone who showed up, someone who is the best hugger, someone who took a call when I just needed 2 minutes, somebody who refreshed, someone who gave life, someone who was a light. Because you know what? We don't know what legacy we're going to have, legacy we're going to leave behind until the end. And with that, it's the end.
Debra, thank you so much for sharing your story, for bearing your soul to all of us, and for being such an incredible, beautiful source of inspiration. I am honored to know you. I am honored to be friends with you, and I am honored that you stood on this stage today and shared with everybody here. So thank you so much. Please go give Debra a huge hug after this. Talk to her, take pictures, get to know her. She is truly a light in our community, and we are so grateful for her. And so I hope you guys all enjoy getting to know her. Come back next month. We have Yolanda Taylor coming to speak to us. We are so excited for her to share her story. You can scan that QR code and it will take you to our Facebook page where you can RSVP yes. You can easily share it with other family or friends that you think might enjoy this event. And we will be right here from 11:30 to 1 with lunch and fellowship and an incredible story to hear. So I hope you guys will all come and join us. Enjoy this beautiful, beautiful weekend. Thank you all so much for being here, and we will see you next month.